Hi, welcome to my live. Just trying to make it less shiny, but that didn't work too well. So here we are. Welcome, welcome. It's a happy Sunday. It's nice and warm outside, a bit windy, but that works. Happy to see you guys here. Say hi in chat. Please do my usual thumbs up because I'm happy to see you. So my name is Rochelle. Welcome to my blog and live and website called Feeding a Crowd. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and here on YouTube. And I think that's enough, to manage anyhow. And of course, my website is feeding-a-crowd.com. It's a website with a lot of recipes, a lot of blogs, and no ads. So enjoy that because it's like a cookbook. It's a website cookbook without the ads. And I love that. I just love that I don't have ads on my website. So what I'm doing though is that I have a store to support my website, and I do ask for donations because it's you do have to pay monthly fees for everything, from getting the printable recipes to getting to paying for the website, for the hosting, and all the work that goes into there. So here we are. Thank you for being here. And so this week, there's a few things that I wanted to talk about. When I made my recipes this week, I came across my Reese's Pieces Super Duper. It's a giant Reese's Pieces cup made in a pie using Oreo cookies. And it's such a nostalgic recipe because kids love Reese's Pieces. When my kids were young, after church, they get a Reese's Pieces if they had stood still and not made a fuss. So I think that Reese's Pieces are just the bomb. So I make it, and the recipe is here, in fact, in the chat box for Reese's Pieces and Oreo pie. So it's like a giant peanut butter cup. So easy to make, and it is no bake, which is phenomenal when you're in a hurry. Also, it's things that you probably have in your pantry, and that's important. Having the food in your pantry, it's just like that kind of recipe. You look around, you have peanut butter, you have icing sugar. Oh, it just happens really fast. So sometimes, and you can pretty much do what you want with it. It doesn't have to be Reese's Pieces candy on top, or it can just be anything. It could just be chocolate chip, frankly, or caramel. I think caramel with that recipe would be amazing. So there we are. And what are your nostalgic? Tell me, say hi and tell me, what are a nostalgic dessert for you that you used to eat when you were young? A lot of people, it's trifle. You know that people don't make trifle anymore in parties. When we were young, it was one of the favorite things we had was trifle. So trifle is basically pudding and cake with fruit and a lot of whipped cream or Cool Whip, which is sort of disgusting unless it's in a trifle. And that's like to me a bit of a nostalgic party food. But what's your nostalgic sweet party food or something that you used to have, you know, like that you when you see it, even though it's not the best thing in the world, it still brings back good memories. So, I think apart from trifle, there would be date squares, which I never liked as a kid. I did not understand why people liked them. They were oats and dates. But as an adult, I don't mind them. With friends, it's nostalgic food, right? It brings you back. There was always Jello. My mom was the queen of Jellos. She would make the fanciest Jellos you could imagine, and it was just like the funniest thing. So even though Jello is not my favorite food at all, I try to make it for my grandkids, and even my grandkids aren't sure what to do with Jello. But to me, it's one of those foods. It's just good memory food because and there's so much a kid can do with Jello in their mouth. I'm not going to expand on that, but Jello is fun to have anyway. So sometimes when my grandkids, I have them over after school, I have Jello waiting for them. I don't know why. So do you guys have anything sweet you like to eat? Anything vintage? Anything that brings back good memories? Nostalgic foods. Or I'm the only one that has nostalgic foods. What do you do? Um, So, and because I had several kids and a pretty big household, and it was always so busy, the kids did not all go to the same school when they went to school. Of course, they were homeschooled for a while. Things happen, and you're always running around and jumping in and out of the car, and the kids have all kinds of things happening. And so I like to have staples in my pantry. And I think some people don't even know what staples are. In fact, I don't even know what the French word for that would be. Like, really, can anyone tell me? Like, what's a French food for staples? So, staples is canned food, preserved foods, dried foods that you can put together and create a recipe. And staples are butter, staples are eggs, milk, canned tuna, canned soups, which I never use, but I always have in my pantry as a staple. That makes sense? Stock is a staple. Pasta is definitely a staple. Rice is a staple. Dried beans, canned or dried beans, are a staple. Am I the only one that makes sure I always have those in my pantry? I like to get them on sale, and I get several of them, and I stock them because then something happens, and you can just throw food together, and you have a pretty healthy meal. Not something I'd eat every day, but you'd be surprised at what you can make with any of those. So, when I tell me what you have in your fridge and I'll help you with supper. One of these days has tell me what you have as staples and I'll help you with supper or lunch, because there's a lot of foods we don't think to put together. In fact, when I was newlywed and I had all these recipes, these recipe books, and my aunt was coming over, and she's quite the chef. She's very, very good. She eats very well. She just, she, and so she was coming over for lunch, and I don't know what was wrong with me, but I had found this recipe for a tuna soup, tuna and tomato soup, creamy tuna and tomato soup. I swear to God, I don't know what I was thinking, but I made it and it was good, which is even more shocking. But when she came into the house, she said, being a happy person that she is, what are you making? And I told her, and her eyes went this big, and she's like, Rochelle, like, where did you find this? And it's like, well, my, you know, home baking books, my Good Housekeeping, no, the books I have, the recipe books, Better Homes and Garden. And she was in shock. She's like, so we're eating tomato tuna cream soup. And yeah, it's what we had. And actually, I made it quite a lot, even for when the kids. So I made it for years. And I don't know if I'd make it again. I don't even know if I'd like it today. But it was one of those soups that you make with staples. It's soup you make with what you have in the house. And having stuff like that in the house is a great money saver, and it's a great time saver. And also, when you know that you have that food, you you're not that stressed because you're like, okay, I don't have time to make supper, but I can just throw that in a crock pot, or I can just throw that in the oven or in a pan or a sheet pan. It's going to be great, you know? So hooray to staples, and I believe in that. And one of the recipes that's all made with food like that is the tuna cheese casserole. And not all my kids like it, but I like it. I like it because you open a bunch of cans, you throw everything together, you throw in the pasta and the cheese, you stir it up, you throw it in the oven, and I like it. Okay, so shoot me. I think it's one of the great meals that you just eat. It's really, really like heartwarming. It's just great food when it's cold outside. It stick to your belly. Thank you, mom. I won't be hungry for another 5 hours kind of food. Um, the recipe, I do have that recipe on my blog, but I don't think I've modernized it yet, which is something I plan to do. I've had a slow week, guys, a slow 2 weeks actually. So not many recipes came out. Um, Stuff happens, and I think I got COVID or something. I got something because damn. And so this week, when I sent out the newsletter, there's only 2 recipes, but I did put out the Sugar Shack recipes because the season is starting now. And you might want to do that for brunch, or you might want to do that for an evening meal or whatever. So in the newsletter this week are the recipes for Sugar Shack season, which is great, great. Um, in fact, one of my go-to meals, which is when the kids were young, and I didn't want to make a big supper. It was just pancakes. Kids loved it, having pancakes for supper. Who knew? But we do that stuff. The kids love it. To them, it was like having a picnic because we're having pancakes instead of meat, potatoes, and veg. So they were very happy not to have to eat veggies that night. So yeah, so I think things like tuna casserole or whatever you have is called staples, and maybe I'll find the word someday in French and talk about it in French too. And another staple food that we don't think that have, but it's sort of expensive. But when you have it, it can actually save you from going out in the middle of the night when you have babies and need milk. It's powdered milk. Powdered milk is expensive to buy. But if you have it and you learn to use it, it does not taste bad. It's like camping milk. The one you buy that is like not cold. In fact, in France, all the milk you buy on the shelves, it's actually not on the fridge. It's all milk like that. So don't ask. I heard that or I saw that on TV. But yeah, milk powder, you keep that. You can do all kinds of stuff with milk powder. So having it is something, sometimes you just go, okay, I don't have milk. You panic, right? You're about to make pancakes, you're about to make whatever, and you don't have milk, but you have milk powder. It's a really good staple to have. So think about food like that. Maybe we should just work on a list of staples. Maybe I should do that. Now I'm thinking about it. Maybe that's one of my next posts. A template for non-stress hosting and a template for staples that we should all have in our pantries. And of course, I've been working more on my thrift store, and I'm sort of having fun with that. So here are a few things that I'm adding to the store. This one, isn't that cool? This is a fruit press for juice, for oranges or grapefruit. It's called it's Wherever. It's aluminum. It's trademarked, and it's an amazing piece. I don't know that I use it, but I think it's been used. So it's used, but it's been used, and it's a great conversation piece, and it's usable. So basically, you place your half fruit here. Okay, you squeeze it, and you pour out the juice. Isn't that completely funny? I think this should go on the other side, so whenever you pour the juice, then the thing will fall out. But yeah, so this is gonna go into my thrift store for about maybe $22, because it is an antique. It's completely vintage. I saw it for sale for ridiculous prices and some normal prices, like $35 US. So I think that at $20, it's good. And it has a little place you can hang it here, boop, on the wall. So not sure I'd want to hang it, but everything is still in good shape. It still has its little, a lot of them have lost a little rubber feet there. Another thing that I absolutely love, and I did not know this, I got this, and it's a glassware. So it's Queen Anne glassware. It's actually very rare, and I did not know that. So what do you do? Talking about nostalgic recipes, you know what people do a lot in this? Yes, you cook it's a bun pan, right? And you can my mom would use this for Jello mold, for sure. For sure, she would use this as a Jello mold. But I actually like foods made with gelatin. And so this is a very light green in color. It says patent pending. So, but it's Queen Anne glass bake, and quite fine vintage. It's not even an year that it was made. Just so you know. Yeah, so that too will probably go for $24. So when you have weddings and you have showers, we always want to get something new, but this is heavy. But getting something vintage sometimes is fun. It, like, to me anyways, it means something. So I like that. So I like this. So this one's going to go on my store also. And this one is already in the store. Okay. So this is a bundt pan that you can cook in. Um, it's called Temptations. I'm trying to read the plastic lid. So it has a plastic lid, which is great for when you're, you're traveling with it. It has a lid. It's got some use to it. It's got some stains. It got inside, but it's beautiful. It's actually like you can make cake in here. You just use it, Jello, cake, mold anything in here, cranberry something, serve it. It's beautiful when you unmold it because it has the scallops. Again, this is not new. You don't even have to use it. Frankly, it's so pretty. I would just put it like that, because I think it's totally pretty. But the fact that it has a lid, I think, makes it special. Even though the lid has some more use to it, it is plastic after all. So those are three pieces, except there's one more that I I talked about with my daughter-in-law. What is this? Not amazing? They don't sell them anymore. This too can go for actually quite a high price. Not. So it's already sold. But I wanted to show it to you. You know what this is? It's an egg beater. It's an egg beater. See? Yeah. So, yep. I did not know. But when I find more, I'm going to bring them because I think these will sell fast. So if I find more like these, for sure, I'm going to get it. And I'm going to put it on my in my thrift store. They're amazing. So time to play chop. What's in your kitchen? What do you have happening? How can I help you? What do you need? So we know that I'm a bit slow to do recipes lately. There are stuff I want to do, but I haven't done. So, I'm going to try to work on that as my energy comes back. So what's in your, say hi, and what's in your fridge? What's in your pantry? What staples do you have? What do you want to get rid of because you bought too many of it and now you're like, oh my God, I still have to use this 5 days in a row. So yeah, and even if it's not here, hit me up on Messenger, hit me up anywhere, and tell me what can I do with this? Like, what's something different? Give me a different idea on what I can make with this. Because, I bought something, the kids hate it, and I still want to pass it. It's just like when you have beans. You can make a type of hummus with almost any kind of beans, not just chickpeas, right? And beans are good for us. So I'm not saying to eat them by the gallon, but they're a good source of fiber. And I was reading about fiber. You know how we all eat grain fiber, right? We all think like wheat fiber or whatever grain type fiber. And I was reading from a medical journal that in fact all the fibers from the different foods work for us in different areas of our digestive system. So we're just eating grain fiber, right? Like bran or oat bran, or and they said so that's really good for the colon, right? But apparently, like the fiber from beans or pulses are really good for the digestive tract or something similar. And then the fiber from all the greens, right, are good for, I'm not sure which part of your body. So basically, the thing is, we should not just be eating if we think we have issues with the digestive or, the colon, or we should be eating all of the fibers regularly so that the whole digestive system and tract works well. Because if you're just eating greens for fiber, you're not doing it. If you're just eating fiber from the grains, you're not doing it. And if you're just eating fiber, from the pulses, or because there's other stuff that have really a lot of fiber for fruit. Some fruit have a lot of fiber. You're not getting it either. So the egg beater, isn't it cool? Hi, Jenny. Jenny, can I make you make supper? What do you have in your fridge? I'm being silly. So what do you have in your fridge that I could help you with? So they're getting this for Jasmine, by the way. Because I think vintage gifts are better than new gifts. Did you see my new bun pan? You have cold cuts. Oh, you know what I do with cold cuts? that I do when I have leftover cold cuts, like from a meat platter or a charcuterie board. I put them in a salad. You slice them really thinly and you put them in a pasta salad or green salad or any salad. So it acts like a meat. But I don't think your kids would like a salad with cold cuts. But you could always make any kind of a pizza, like using whatever, like we think pepperoni, but any kind of cold cuts works on any kind of cold pizza or warm pizza. Um, Also in any kind of Alfredo sauce. Well, yeah, it's true. Your kids do like salads. So if you put eggs and those cold, like like an egg that you just cut in half, that you boil and cut in half, like a hard boiled or a soft boiled in my case, eggs and the meat, then you get your meat in that salad. Of course, if you put any kind of, the kids won't like that, but like pulses for adults, like chickpeas in there or flageolol, you get a lot of protein by doing that. So yeah, so I love doing that. When I if I have chicken and cold cuts, for sure I'm making a salad because I think I just love them. It's an Italian salad that I used to have at Baccaro, and I love that salad. It had olives and it had sun-dried tomatoes and a lot of cold cuts. I'm not sure about the chicken, but yeah, so I love that Italian salad with the cold cuts. So so yeah, it's weird stuff. So now I keep my cold cuts for salads. And yeah, I think yeah, and I have new stuff. I have new stuff on that on the in my little store. I have my son, in fact, is supposed to come and look at the Langostina silverware. Well, it's kitchen utensils that I found. You can't find them anymore at all. You what Langostina doesn't sell them. You cannot find them. You can only find them like now, and they sell for over $100 because the quality of these Langostina utensils are phenomenal, and yeah, you can't find them anymore. So, and I'm selling them, of course, at a ridiculous price because I want people to use metal and wood. You only use plastic in your soft spatula for cake making. And let's say you have a non-stick that you don't heat up. Don't forget, you can use plastic if you don't heat it up. It's not as bad. You're not going to get as much plastic in your food. So yeah, so I have a lot of really, really cool stuff on the store. And I hope people will go more and more as I add and add and add to it. And of course, as I sell it, then I remove it. But really excited about that. So time is flying by. It always flies by when I come here. I didn't talk much about my recipes because the other recipe that I put there this week, let me look a minute, was the recipe for, and don't forget, guys, I have the sourdough starter to sell, and I have sold it to a few people, and they're just going crazy. They say they can't kill it. It's just such a happy starter, and they're just like me. You just put it in everything. Okay. So yeah, so the other recipe that I came out with this week is this recipe. So I'm going to put it in here. So it's one, oh, Jenny, you could actually put that in this recipe also. So this is savory pancakes, okay? And it's Felicity's, one of Felicity and her kids' favorite pancakes. And they're savory. So instead of the bacon, you could actually do that. So it's zucchini and bacon and cheddar. And I think there could be apples, but I'm not sure. But anyway, so basically it's a very, very savory pancake. So I love that recipe because with the maple syrup on top, it just makes everything better. It's almost like having a waffle, like one of those sweet and savory waffles. Yeah, well, I have a lot of wooden utensils. You go to the store, check what they are. You can wait because I know you're doing the kitchen. But if there's anything you want, let me know and I'll put them aside because I know Levi is coming later and I'm not sure what he's going to pick up from my store because there's a lot of them. So yeah. So you know what? Thanks for being here, Jenny. I appreciate it. Look at the store. Come back to me with that. If you need more ideas for gifts, because I have fun stuff there, vintage stuff and beautiful dishes like the white mixing bowls and the pie plates. Like wow, They're just, and I know I'm gonna find more, but the white ones are really rare because like it's very rare that I find them. But I'm going to be on lookout for them more and more as summer comes around, and I drive around and go to different um, stores to find stuff for you. So I wish you a most wonderful rest of your day and hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.